Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I took a couple of days off this last week just for the holidays, but we are back now, and I appreciate everyone for your patience. Thank you as always for watching and supporting the channel in general. With the new year coming up, you know, I was kind of reflecting on 2020 overall, and it's obviously been a super crazy year for everyone, but I think one of the definite positives I've had from the year is being able to make consistent content for you all. This is the year that I probably made the most content, actually, out of any year that I've been doing YouTube, so thank you to all the new subscribers as well as the old subscribers for just continuing to come out and watch these videos. I really do appreciate it, and I hope everyone's doing well. You know, times are really, really crazy right now, but I'm wishing everyone the best, and yeah, just appreciate everyone for continuing to come out and watch these videos. I think, like, this last year, I, tried to stay pretty consistent to daily uploads and was able to do that with, relatively good success, so looking forward to, finishing off 2020 and then getting into the next year. So let's get into today's episode. In the last episode, I featured a really interesting team built by the 2019 Japanese national champion, Hirofumi Kimura, who is actually also the world's runner-up. So if you want to try out this team, all the details are linked in the description below, and let's get started with today's episode. Thanks as always for watching. Alright, we're up against Coalossal in the first game here. Coalossal. Okay, so how do I want to approach this? There's no, like, Aqua Jet user here, so Dragapult is the only way to really enable Cole here. I feel like this should be a Spectrier game. The only concern is probably the Grimmsnarl. Also, Eject Button Whimsicott I feel like is actually really good here, potentially. So I'm kind of down to lead Whimsicott plus the Spectrier here. That feels pretty good. Now Ego looks really good here in this endgame, actually. Super effective Sludge Bomb into Grimmsnarl, Fini. And then, not even Max Rock, the Power Herb, Meteor Beam into the Glastrier. I think the Moltres is really bad here, given that my opponent has Glastrier, Fini, and the Regieleki, and Cole. Yeah, actually, I don't think we ever bring the Moltres. So then it's between AV Cinderace and Mamoswine. Both of these are, like, kind of awkward here. I'm leaning towards Cinderace a little bit more. I guess Mamoswine does have priority Ice Shard, but Cinderace does more damage into, like, the non-max mons here, I feel like. Okay, but actually one of the arguments for Mamoswine here is that my opponent has Regieleki, and Mamoswine is, like, a really, really good counter to the Regieleki. Plus, obviously, helps against Cole as well. So, yeah. I think Spectre can be really, really huge for us here, so let's get into the first game today. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, no question of the day today. I just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays and thank you for your support on the channel. And yeah, excited to be back. Definitely took a couple of days off and it was super, super restful. But for me, I feel like I've really gotten into the swing of, making a video every day. So it's weird, even when I'm taking a break, I have like a burning urge to kind of make a video for that given day. Okay, so it's Grimmsnarl and Regieleki here. Definitely potentially worried about, like, trick stuff here. You know what one really interesting play we can make in this game is should they trick onto a Spectre, we can even, like, take the item back with Switcheroo here. Which is kind of cool. I mean, I'm leaning towards just a Tailwind. I like Tailwinding. If I'm my opponent, what do? Either set up screens or try to trick away immediately. Yeah, actually, I don't think I'm that worried about Grimmsnarl right now. I'm down to Tailwind Max and actually Quake into Regieleki. That gives me a Spadef boost, which helps out against what's potentially in the back of the team. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. That's Dynamax Regieleki. Huh. That is really cool. Okay. That may be a problem. Unless, like, Life Orb Max Quake just one-shots, which I would expect Regieleki to hang on with a little bit of HP. This might be Fake Tears Max Lightning onto us turn 1 then, which might be enough for a KO. Definitely didn't see that coming. Oh, no, we'll have a Spadef boost, though, so I'm thinking we should survive here, actually. We'll see what Grimmsnarl goes for. I mean, you can go for Fake Out. You can go for Fake Out actually would be the best option for my opponent right now. Given that I don't have... I have the eject button, so it even forces me out. Yeah, they do just go for Fake Out. Okay, so I could have gone Helping Hand Max Quick there, which would have been kind of nice, but I don't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, I get a free switch in here, actually, which is actually kind of nice. I I'm going into Mamoswine. I doubt my opponent went for a Max Lightning into that slot, but if they did, I mean, this completely negates it. It's probably into the Spectrier, though. Yeah. I did not see that coming turn 1. That's really cool. We'll see how much Max Quake does here. It is Life Orb boosted, and I have Ice Shard next turn to try to pick up the Grimmsnarl. Okay, they're not Life Orb. Interesting. I'm really curious on the item there. I don't know my Dynamax Lucky calcs at all. Oh, that just one-shots. Never mind. Was that even a crit or... Nope. Spectrier is just that good. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's huge. Yeah, I mean, that's why I was kind of surprised to see Regieleki Dynamax turn 1, to be honest. Unless, like, you're going for the knockout onto the Spectrier. Feels like it's often not worth it. Now we have +1 Spadef, +1 special attack. And my opponent has Grimmsnarl, which doesn't really put on much offensive pressure. And I have Sash Mamoswine out. So, all of those add up to put us in a really good position, I think. But that was cool. I'm wondering what the rest of the moves are on Grimmsnarl right now. I think Grimmsnarl is a super, super top pick at the moment. What makes it tricky is that it has so many viable sets. You can run Screens, Fake Out, you know, Trick with either Eject Button or, like, the full Incense stuff that we've seen running around. What do I want to do here? I'm down to just... Ooh, I kind of want to Earthquake here. My only fear is KOing myself. Yeah, I don't think that's very smart. Okay, I'm down to just Ice Cold Crash Grimmsnarl here and Phantasm into the Glastrier. I think, like, picking up that knockout turn 1 puts us in an incredible position. Yeah, and they don't go for a Protect on the Glastrier. I mean, Glastrier is typically one of 2 items these days, right? It's either Weakness Policy or a... Actually, it's actually one of 4, I should say. That looks like Light Screen. Or sorry, AV to me. I was going to say, like, you can run Weakness Policy, AV, Life Orb. I've even seen White Herb, so yeah, there's actually way more than 2 viable items. But AV, I think, makes a lot of sense in the context of this team, especially given that my opponent brought it out immediately. That being said, you know, we get defense drops here with Phantasm, which is quite nice. So yeah, Ice Cold Crash there does a ton of damage. And Glastrier is just going to Ice Cold Crash into the Spectre. Enough for a KO, but I think, like, we got way more out of the first 2 turns than our opponent did, right? So I'm not really complaining here, because what I can do now is just go into the Whimsicott, and actually, no, I don't need to go into Whimsicott. I can just go into... Ooh, I still don't know the item on Grimmsnarl, but if you're going Screens and you have Fake Out, I feel like it's super likely you are not Trick stuff. Actually, I think I have to bring out the Whimsicott right now. The only question is whether or not I actually click Tailwind right now, just because I haven't seen what my opponent has in the back yet. Tailwind Earthquake works pretty well here, though, I think. I think under Tailwind... Yeah, under Tailwind, Mamoswine plus the Now Ego should be able to finish off anything that my opponent has here. So, yeah, I think this is fine. I'm just Tailwinding to guarantee that we outspeed everything in the back with both Mamoswine and the Now Ego. Mainly because I don't know. I don't think, like, Dazzling plus EQ does enough to KO Glastrier anyway. Like, I assume Glastrier survives this turn and either brings Mamo to its Sash or knocks out the Whimsicott. So, yeah. I also want to get rid of Grimmsnarl without knowing, like, before we know its full moveset. It looks like it's just Screens here, which makes sense. Okay. I mean, Glastrier is looking kind of scary right now, right? Like, we didn't do that much damage to it, but we KO Grimmsnarl there. Actually not sure if another EQ will KO Glastrier, but Meteor Beam definitely should. And they're actually not for Heavy Slam. Okay, onto Mammal? Yeah, that makes sense. So, let's see what the last one is. I think, I mean, you can see why Screens are just so valued right now in the format. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that's Assault Vested. So that is indeed AV. What I can do right now, especially with the Now Ego as the last one, is go for an Earthquake here. Ooh, I guess my only fear is that that does not KO the Glastrier. It probably doesn't, actually. So I might Helping Hand EQ here. Helping Hand EQ, bring in the Now Ego, and then go from there. But there is a world in which Tapu Fini can win this now, I think, which is actually kind of scary. I want to go Helping Hand EQ just because Earthquake is, you know, a little stronger than Dazzling right now to attack the Fini. This is where it gets interesting if you're my opponent. With the Fini, do you go for, are you Calm Mind? If you're like Specs, I think this is definitely wrapped up, but if it's Calm Mind, this gets a little bit more interesting. Okay, so we get the Earthquake off. Nice, Chaos Glastrier does really good damage into Fini. Whimsicott gets crit, actually, so that's always one of the downsides of, you know, self-targeting, but it's okay. And it is going to be Muddy Water. Okay, that's fine. Actually, that crit may work against us, given that now Ego is my last one. But I don't think you should one-shot with single target Muddy Water. Yeah, especially if you're lefties. That means you're not Specs, and I think Sludge Bomb should still be a 2-hit KO here. There's also merit into going for Meteor Beam, so then I have +1 Sludge Bomb until a subsequent turn. I could also continue to go for substitutes, but I'm pretty sure we should survive here, so I don't need to bank off a miss. Actually, how confident am I in 2 Sludge Bombs KOing here? There's still multiple turns of Light Screen up, at least 5. I don't want them to go for a Calm Mind. That's my main concern. So, I think I just launch Sludge Bomb here. They have screens up, but... okay, so they do Protect, which would have been a reason to go for Meteor Beam there. Because then I get the boost instantly, right? Yeah, I'm really curious how bulky the Tapu Fini is here with the Light Screen. Can it take 2 Sludge Bombs? Meteor Beam there probably just would have instantly won us the game. But what I was worried about was missing and then my opponent just attacking outright there. I could Protect this turn. But they might if they Calm Mind while I Protect, that's actually really bad. So because I know I can take at least 1 Muddy Water right now. I don't know if Sludge Bomb's a 2-hit KO right now with Light Screen being up, which is my main concern. That looks like it is. And they do go for the Calm Mind. Ooh, interesting. Okay. That is very interesting. Because now they'll definitely survive a Sludge Bomb. I wonder, though, this turn, do you go for a Muddy Water? Tailwind Peters out. Sorry, or do you Protect? I'm going to substitute here. I really could have capitalized off. Yeah, they do Protect. Okay, nice. So, like, you always want to Protect just for recovery here, but sub is such an uncommon attack that I was like, I really don't think my opponent sees it coming. This should guarantee us the win now. Yeah, my opponent has lefties recovery, but that's fine. What made this game scary, though, was probably self-critting myself. I wonder if I should have just gone Earthquake Dazzling. I just wasn't sure if that would have done enough damage. But if so, and Whimsicott survives this game, then I really don't have to worry about this endgame. So I think maybe played a little bit more carelessly here in the end. I could have gone for that Meteor Beam earlier, like I mentioned, but didn't feel like I was really in a position where I needed to rely on it. Yeah, they just go for Muddy Water. Another Sludge Bomb should KO Tapu Fini, so we should be good here. But this endgame was a little bit scarier than I would have liked it to be honest, because I feel like I was in a really commanding position after turn 1, so it's kind of inexcusable to, like, be in a position where... Like I basically feel like I was making suboptimal plays in the end. I didn't expect Whimsicott to take so much damage from the Helping Hand EQ, so yeah. I just wanted Glastrier out of the way, and I think we needed to bring in Mamoswine first before we bring in the Now Ego, because Mamoswine actually does pretty bad into the Tapu Fini here in this endgame, but Now Ego is obviously really good against my opponent's entire team, so we finally get to show off why Substitute can be a really, really good move. You just have to find the right situations to use it, so yeah. In this one, I was like fairly... Unless like my opponent's seen the team before... like, sub is such a hard move to predict in this format. It was kind of common in previous years in VGC, especially like VGC 2012, 2013. But nowadays, it's definitely fallen off a little bit. And for that reason, like, it's a move that's like almost impossible to predict. And so in that position, I felt like it was pretty safe to go for. Because even if they go for Muddy Water, like what we could do potentially is cycle through Substitute Protect and either hope for a miss when they go for Substitute or just try to stall at Light Screen. That being said, after the Calm Mind, I think even after Light Screen was over, they were probably going to survive another Sludge Bomb there. So, yeah. That was kind of scary, but you could also see the power of Spectrier there. Just being able to one-shot a Regieleki turn 1 with Max Quake was nuts. So, yeah. Close game, though, and they really brought it back for, like, given that they just lost their Dynamax immediately, I think, like, great recognition to bring out the Glastrier, and... Yeah, I was able to take Spectrier's attacks really well with the AV and the Light Screen, despite us being at +1 and Dynamaxed. Okay, next game here. This feels like a Now Ego game, potentially even maxing it. I mean, Spectrier is interesting, but what I don't like here is my opponent having a Leki and the Spectrier on their end. Actually, wait, what am I saying? I think it's a Cinderace game. AV Cinderace looks great. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Whimsicott Cinderace here. And in the back... It's weird, we haven't brought this Moltres out at all, so I can't help but think that I'm not playing it well enough. I mean, it's pretty standard, but, like, can I really get away with Moltres in a game with Aleki and the Glastrier? Probably not, right? I would think. Regular Spectrier is actually kind of cool here, but I think I'm going to go Whimsicott, Cinderace, Mamoswine, and the now Ego in this one. Yeah. I don't know, Moltres is one of those mons that, like, can really get crushed by certain Pokemon. And you really want to, like, try to get a Nasty Plot off or weakness policy boost off. Oh, actually, I just realized one mode that I definitely have not been considering while playing with this team, like, you should, is Mamoswine plus the Moltres, because Mamo has Self-Ice Shard into Moltres. That being said, I don't think it's really would have been very good into a lot of the matchups we saw anyway, so, yeah, I don't think it's, like, a huge missed opportunity, but just something to consider. They're going to go with Togekiss and the Glastrier. Okay, what does this make me want to do? I think if you're my opponent, you probably just go for Follow Me and a nice type attack into the Whimsicott. So I want to switch Whimsicott out because I want to conserve this eject button. Go out into Mamoswine here, I think. Dynamax, and just go for a Steel Spike onto the Togekiss. That's what I'm leaning towards here. Gives me a defense boost. Cinderace matches up pretty nicely against this Glastrier. Now, Glastrier, granted, of course, could just still go for a Max Quake onto the Cinderace, but I don't know. If I can get rid of the Redirection user while conserving the eject button, I feel like that's super valuable for us. And maybe my opponent doesn't go for a nice type attack into the Whimsicott slot. I think that's totally possible, but I don't mind switching out here because I don't need Tailwind on turn 1. Like, the thing about Whimsicott is you normally want to bring it to, like, maintain early game pressure, right? You get a Tailwind up, outspeed your opponent, but our team's already pretty fast, and my opponent brought out Glastrier as a lead, which is, you know, really one of the slowest Pokemon out. And they don't really have great speed control here either. So it's not like I really need to force a Tailwind on turn 1. Now, what's interesting is that they don't Dynamax, which I actually think is probably a better thing, just because it means it's even better for our potential eject button shenanigans later on in the match. Curious if this can one-shot. They're not Berry. They hang on with a little bit of HP, but that's okay, because now I can just Ice Shard into that slot and just go for another attack into Glastrier. So I'm liking our position a lot right now. This is looking decent. Oh! That's a first. I have never seen Swords Dance Glastrier before. And maybe that's kind of surprising I haven't seen it, like, you know, up until this point. But that's really cool. Regardless, I'm going to Ice Shard here. They might Protect, which is kind of scary, but because we're Sashed, it's fine. Gosh, my only fear is them being... Are you going to be SD and Weakness Policy? That would be kind of nuts. They might Protect Togekiss here, too. I think that's, like, a very possible option. Like, I want to just G-Max Fireball and Ice Shard here. But I don't think G-Max Fireball KOs, and they probably max here. Wow. That's a really big survival on Togekiss's end, because if it doesn't survive, you're forced to bring something in. And I can probably just, like, double up onto... Well, no, I wouldn't want to double up onto whatever comes in. But, yeah, Swords Dance is super interesting, especially if they're Weakness Policy as well. That is what I'm worried about right now. I can't help but wonder whether or not I should have just gone for a second Steel Spike, just because I don't think Fireball KOs this thing anyway. But to be honest, I'm not that worried about it, because I do have Now Ego in the back, so I can just Power Meteor Beam it too. Like, we have a lot of good anti-Glastrier stuff with this team. Protect? No, they just go for Follow Me. Okay, that's even better. The reason why that's even better, by the way, is because you just sacrifice Togekiss, right? So even if you pick up a KO this turn, like, I can bring Whimsicott, I can go for the Switcheroo stuff, which would be really nice. I'm pretty sure G-Max Fireball here should at least do 50 to 60%-ish. I don't think it will be a KO, though, because Glastrier is so bulky. We don't have a Life Orb. No Sun is up either. My big question is, what item do you have here? Are you Weakness Policy? Because then that gets you to +3, which is really scary. Wow, that does not even do 50%. That is impressive bulk right there. But they actually up for a Steel Spike, and they're not Weakness Policy. Huh. Steel Spike is interesting as well. Because that means, that's, like, makes me think you don't have Max Quake, because, like, Max Quake would make more sense to cover for both me going for Steel Spike or a Fire type attack. So, that ends up even being better than I expected, quite honestly, as they bring out Urshifu. Okay, that's fine. Urshifu is out. Got Now Ego in the back. Got Mamo out here. I mean, like, I can just Ice Shard. I'm leaning towards just Ice Shard and... Oh, and I have Airstream. Yeah, Ice Shard Airstream here. I think Urshifu probably protects, but it's fine. Like, I'm not worried about this this Glastrier, especially because I have the the Now Ego in the back. Like, one thing that's really impressed me about this Now Ego is that it's actually really good in the late game, too. Like, we've maxed it way more than I expected while playing with this team. Like that last episode. Ooh, and they maxed our Glastrier. Okay. That will probably be GG then. I'm really curious about the moveset on that Mon. Like, Swords Dance, Steel Spike. You definitely have Ice Skull Crash or a nice type attack. And my guess is that it doesn't have Protect. And that the Swords Dance is what you're max guarding with. But maybe you are just Swords Dance, Ice, Steel, Protect. I just feel like, I don't know, Glastrier really likes either ground or fighting type coverage. And if you're running a Swords Dance set, I feel like it makes Max Quake even stronger. So, yeah. But it's also impressive to see a Maxmon take less than 50% with no boosts from a base 160 super effective attack. Like, that's a testament to how bulky Glastrier can be, which is nuts. Okay. We know they protected last turn, though. We have a speed boost. I can just go for an Earthquake here. I'm content for that. And high jump kick into... Actually, do I even want to high jump kick into this thing? Why don't we just KO Lecky? Because then we win with the Glastrier. Or sorry, the Elec... Ah, what am I saying? The Now Ego. I mean... EQ here, I would think KOs anyway. Okay, I'm down to EQ and high jump kick here. Don't want a Pyro Ball just because I don't... okay, they ended up forfeiting. The reason I didn't want a Pyro Ball there is because they already max guarded last turn. So if I miss, so be it. Like, that's one of the reasons why I thought Mamoswine was really good here, you know, into a Lucky specifically. So Swords Dance was cool. I just feel like my opponent didn't really get much out of it. I mean, but that was a testament to Cinderace, and I think this is one of the problems that Glastrier can sometimes suffer from. It can be really good outside of Trick Room, but with Glastrier, you really ideally want to like just basically pick up knockout after knockout, chain those knockouts, snowball with it really quickly with Glastrier's ability. But my opponent wasn't really able to do that because part of the problem is if Glastrier is attacking second, that makes it a lot tougher for it to, like, if you're under Trick Room, for example, sometimes you can just pick up a knockout. Not only does that give you an attack boost and obviously get rid of a Pokemon, but it also denies them from attacking. But by us, you know, being able to consistently outspeed, we were able to give ourselves boosts, which was really nice, while also denying KOs. So I think this next team is Bid C's team. If you guys remember, we played the 2015 World's Runner-Up a couple of episodes back, and he got to like top 20 on the ladder last ranked season with this team, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the sets super well, though. And I don't really know who I want to Dynamax here, either. Like, I haven't considered the Moltres Mammal lead yet. This could be an opportunity for it, actually. Because would you really bring Thundurus here? It's possible. It's definitely possible. Now Ego's pretty interesting. I don't know. I think Spectrier is probably like the safer option. You can't go wrong with Whimsicott Spectrier, I feel like. Can I just go with that then? What am I worried about? If my opponent leads Instinct plus Dragapult, I suppose you could fake out Whimsicott, eject it out, Phantasm into the Spectrier. That'd actually be kind of bad. You know what? I'm actually going to try Mamoswine Moltres in this one. It might not be the right call, but I haven't experimented enough with it to know just how good it can be. I'll take this in the back. Okay, I guess I'll still bring Whimsicott. Whimsicott in the back's kind of weird here. I like think Spectrier may have actually been a better call just for the Life Orb Shadow Balls. Like, I think if I wanted to play the safest route this game, Whimsicott plus Spectrier was probably it. But this does feel like a potential opportunity for Mamoswine and Moltres. And if my opponent leads Instant Dragapult, that actually really crushes Whimsicott plus Spectrier. But they're going to go with Incin and the Fini. Okay. How do I feel about this? Like, Whimsicott Spectrier might have been a little bit better. Fini obviously does well right now into me. So I suppose that's my main concern. Oh, I guess I can't even double Protector on one, which is kind of scary. What does my opponent go for here is the question. Who do I have in the back? Now Ego Whimsicott. Now Ego's a decent potential max option here. I might honestly just Dynamax turn 1 here. As much as I hate doing it, I think I might have to. I'm just going to Dynamax because I don't think I can get away with the Nasty Plot right now. And if you look at my team, Who do I have in the back? Whimsicott, now Ego. Don't really want to be Dynamaxing either of those against my opponent's team, so while this max doesn't feel great, I feel like it's probably still our best option. What could be a problem here, though, is if Fini one-shots Mamoswine. If you Fake Out and go for a Water Double Up into it. I don't think a regular Muddy Water KOs, but if you're Specs or if you Dynamax, maybe. Ooh! They actually Fake Out into Moltres. Okay, nice. So they are probably trying to deny a nasty plot there. But that's obviously fantastic for us because we get a ton of free damage off. And now, yeah, even, regardless of what Fini goes for, I think this is a fantastic turn 1. Unfortunately, we're not going to pick up the KO here. But I can sell Ice Shard next turn, which is cool. Wow, that was actually really close to picking up. If we picked up the knockout there, I honestly think we just kind of win immediately. But honestly, this is still a really good first turn. And they just Muddy Water. Okay. I think that's Choice Spexed. Fairly sure that's Spexed. Accuracy drop there is a little scary, but it is fine. I think I just EQ here. I don't know. I want to sell Ice Shard, but I also don't want my opponent to recycle Fake Outs. Now, I could Ice Skull Crash instead, but it's just lower accuracy, and given the accuracy drop, I really don't want to miss anything. So, yeah, I'll just Airstream into Fini, EQ into Mamo. That has to be Specs Fini, I think. Protect. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. That's fine. Okay, we hit... What is the item on that thing, then? Protect and Fake Out. I think it's Specs Fini. We only have one more turn of Dynamax left, which is scary. But I can self Ice Shard on this last turn and just target whatever's coming in. We don't pick up the knockout there, which is okay, but was hoping to pick up a double KO there. Is it really not buried either? Wow. So neither Incineroar nor Tapu Fini had a berry here, but this one also does not have an Assault Vest. So I'm really curious on what the item is there. They bring out Landorus. Okay, that's interesting because, I mean, I can just Icicle Crash that slot. So unless you have Protect on Landorus, which is honestly kind of rare, like, I don't know if my opponent's banking off a miss here. Alternatively, I can sell Ice Shard. But I feel like Icicle Crash here into Landorus is just so strong. And I don't think I need any more speed boosts at this point, right? Well, they could max Airstream with their Landorus, so I might as well continue up the boosts. Like, this is scary because we have an early lead, but I don't have much good late game offense, and this is where bringing Whimsicott in the back probably is going to cost me a little bit. So, I think the lead was actually really solid here, and turn 1 played out even better, so... the accuracy drop is what makes it scary, because I feel like if... unless you do have Protect on Landorus. If you do have Protect on Landorus, though, what can I do? I can just Ice Shard you, or Ice Skull Crash next turn. Yeah, they don't have Protect, and they don't Dynamax. I'm really surprised they brought Landorus out here, honestly. Okay, that's the explanation. They're Focus Sashed. So probably a Rock Slide or a U-turn here. I mean, we'll pick up a KO onto the Incin. If you Rock Slide here, you activate a Policy, which is really good for us. Big question is, who does my opponent Dynamax now? They are effectively down almost 3 Pokemon. But Landorus will be able to get, you know, back a fair amount this turn. Rock Slide? Yeah, like, I'm fine with that. They just activated Weakness Policy now on our end. So what could be in the back? Let's scary. There was a Dragapult, a Thundurus, and a Bronzong. None of those deal well with Dark-type attacks. You just got us a +3 special attack in 1 turn, too. And I'm super speedy right now. So I feel like the play is probably to just go into Whimsicott right now. Let's see. Thundurus. Thundurus gets crushed. Because I just Tailwind Fiery Wrath here. Yeah, it is Thundurus. So actually now Ego ends up being the right Mon here to have in the back, which is good. I'm pretty sure Tailwind Fiery Wrath is just like guaranteed win here. Yeah, especially with the now Ego in the back, because the problem for my opponent right now is that you can't pick up a double KO. I think Landorus maybe considers protecting here, but Thundurus can only pick up 1 knockout. If you Airstream and a Whimsicott, while I still outspeed you in subsequent turns, I bring out now Ego and just Power Herb, Meteor Beam, and Fiery Wrath. If you go for the knockout onto Moltres, which is probably a little bit more likely, while I have Dazzling Gleam, so I just make the same play, just with Whimsicott going for the spread type attack instead of the Moltres. So, I'm feeling pretty good right now. And I think this is often one of the downsides of Dynamaxing so late, but I don't fault my opponent for doing that, because after the lead, which was already kind of tough for them, they were in a bad spot, and then if you look at what they had in the back, it was Thundurus and Landorus. And fun fact, the 2013 World Championship Finals with Thundurus and Landorus against Mamoswine. Mamoswine, which was such a good meta call by Arash that year, completely just smacked that around. So, given that we have Now Eagle in the back, this should be a wrap. Actually, no. The reason why it's not guaranteed yet is because we can miss with Now Ego, so that's the one thing I'm kind of worried about right now. Wow, that actually took that really... Is that a Soul Vested? That may be AB. Huh, if so, that's really interesting. I'm not sure I've ever... not ever seen AB Thundurus, actually. We used that literally in the beginning of Series 7, but Life Orb and Lum are definitely a lot more common. Fairly confident that's Assault Vest, though, honestly. Okay. Well, that makes this a little bit more interesting. We still have speed. Oh, I can just take away its item, though, right? If I just switcheroo here. I'm just trying to think, is there a way I can win this without missing a Meteor Beam? Because I think it's maybe fine to just go Dazzling Gleam and Meteor Beam. Actually, but then Thundurus gets the +2 speed, and then it begs the question, can you outspeed and one-shot the Now Ego? I really am thinking of switcheroo here. No, but then it goes all in on that play. Whereas this covers, even if I miss Meteor Beam here, we can still win. I need to cover for Landorus Earthquaking. Oh, but they actually go for the double. Oh boy, that actually may have been enough to claw back from my opponent then. I don't know if Meteor Beam one-shots here, because like I said, I'm pretty sure you're AV there. That is so bulky. Let's see if this hits. I think if it hits, we're still fine. Oh, wait, are we? Well, Landorus gets another speed boost. Actually, we probably lose. Because I think what my opponent can do is just air... Oh, and we miss. Oh, but interestingly enough, they target the... Now Ego. Huh. That is interesting. Okay. Well, that was obviously the worst case scenario. They got a double protect and we missed. So not ideal, I'd have to say, but still winnable. +1 special attack, 2 turns of Tailwind, they're +2. I think this Whimsicott's max speed though, right? So we should still outspeed Thundurus. Yeah. Like, as long as we get the Dazzle off, it's honestly maybe not that bad. If they're going for Airstream, that implies that you're strong. I don't know, do you not have, like, Steel Spike or something? Do I go for a sub again? No, I don't think subbing makes sense. I think it's just Sludge Bomb here. Honestly, I think if we hit that based off where we are in this current situation, we'd probably still have won the game, but that miss means that we might lose now. But that's what happens when you want to run Meteor Beam. Wait, they Lightning now. I should have protected there probably, right? Yeah, that one-shots us. I think we lose then. Protect was definitely the play there. I don't know why I didn't, actually. Not protecting doesn't cover for much, right? I guess I was kind of caught off guard by why they Airstream last turn, but obviously they have Max Lightning, that's going to KO us. But even if I protect there, well, then it's a question of whether or not I can survive a Wild Charge, and honestly, I would think the answer is yes. So, this is a good example of a game in which we probably win the majority of the times, but I definitely did not play optimally here in this endgame. They could still miss Fly, so I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. That's definitely AV, yeah. Shame on the miss and the double protect. Both of those really hurt, but didn't you play this super well? They're faster now. My win con's the hope for a miss, right? They should one-shot us, I would assume. They go for it, and we dodge. Okay, this just got more interesting. And we crit, but it's not enough. Do I need another miss, though? Because you just go for another, Is there any point in switcherooing? Gives me AV, but I know you're physical, so no cool place we can do with that. Should I have Tailwinded there? No. What a crazy game. I think I just hope for another miss, TBH. Because you should outspeed us right now. There's no point in Tailwinding. Yeah. Oh, that was nuts. We even got the crit, but it was not enough. Alright, they go for another fly. Let's see. Can Thundurus pull it off here? Either way, it was a fun game. Like, I definitely didn't play perfectly, so I had some small improvements to my play. But this is one I don't feel too bad in. But that's, I mean, that's exactly the downside of Meteor Beam. Feels like a shame, though, for how good our lead was, but, you know, my opponent was going to need some good fortune to win this one after our early game, and they recognized exactly what they needed to do. I'm just trying to see if there was anything else I could have really done here. I mean, I always click Dazzling Gleam. I don't think we ever survive Fly, right? I don't know. This one's got us more bulk than usual. Okay, they are going to connect. Is there any chance in which we survive this? Oh my gosh! We don't even have Sash! That was, wow. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, we literally survived with 1 HP. Okay. Let's do the damage calc on that. I don't know if you're curious, but I'm curious. Thundurus into Whimsicott. Fly. We have pretty good bulk, actually. That's, what, 159 HP? I just can't believe it was literally by 1 HP. Okay, assuming you're Jolly max. Okay, I don't think that's Jolly. It definitely is not max attack, especially for how much bulk it had. So, I honestly have no idea how much attack investment that had. For example, if you're max attack Jolly, it's a guaranteed KO. But if you have no attack, it's not. It does 98% at most. Also, I'll play a 4th one just because we haven't uploaded in a few days. And, yeah, get some extra content there. That was crazy, though. Okay. So what did I do wrong? I see the reason why I didn't go for Switcheroo on Thundurus that turn, by the way, is because if my opponent doesn't go for that double protect, like I thought double protect was a possibility, but if they don't go for the double and they just hope for a miss, and then they EQ, I just lose instantly. So I need to cover for the option of them potentially attacking there. Okay, this is Trick Room Sun. We've seen plenty of variations of this at this point. Honestly, Mamoswine Moltres was really good in that last game, though, so I was happy about that. Also, I love my opponent's username here, Treble Clef. Okay, I don't think... Okay, at first I was going to say I don't think Spectrier is it, but it does have Taunt, which becomes a little bit more interesting. Now, if you're my opponent, maybe you just say, you know what, I'm just going to set up Trick Room. How do I beat that? If they go Indeedee Stakataka, what do I do? Fiery Wrath Earthquake, maybe? But if you're Shuka, that's not enough. Ooh, I might honestly have to lead this, though. Whimsicott's really bad into a team with Psychic Terrain because of Prankster. So I don't think Whimsicott's it here. Question is who to max. Like I'm thinking it's probably Cinderace now Ego in the back. I don't know. Spectrier does not feel good into a team with Indeedee. Yeah, I can taunt with it, but if Trick Room goes up, Spectrier is completely useless. And I don't feel confident enough about denying Trick Room here. So, yeah. Okay, that last game was actually crazy. We also ended up getting another crit 10 off the game. In the end, I actually don't think we needed either, right? Because 2 Dazzles. Actually, maybe we needed one of the two. I don't know if 2 Dazzles would have done enough otherwise, but talk about a wild end game there. Double Protect and Meteor Beam miss, and then what? Crit, Fly miss, and then another crit. Sheesh. Okay, this is the lead I was expecting. So I'm just gonna go for EQ, Fiery Wrath. I think this is an example, though, of how hard Trick Room might just crush us. I mean, the other thing I could have opted for was Dynamax Cinderace, get a couple of boosts on that. But I don't have Trick Room Reverse on this team. And it's not like Spectrier or Taunt would have worked out here. Hold a minute. I have Taunt on this thing, too. But there's no, like... Well, why would Indeedee ever not follow me here is my question, right? I'd rather have a flinch chance. Oh my goodness, they actually didn't follow me. I guess actually they didn't follow me because they're like, oh, I have Shuka and I have, you're going to use Spread Attack, so why bother? I should have... It's Colbur as well, wow. Dual, Resist Berries here. If we flinch Stakataka, we win. Turn 1, honestly, but... Yeah, I thought it was a little bit greedy to go for Expanding Force, because if I max there and max Darkness, it could be really bad. And they get Trick Room up. Okay, well played. So, I don't know, that could have been an opportunity to go for Taunts, and I guess I should have, because in my opponent's eyes, there's no reason to follow me, because I'm just going to go for Fiery Wrath Earthquake, so... This was a good example of how we could have gone for Taunt. I just thought, like, Indeedee going for Follow Me is still safer to bypass any potential, like, Taunt shenanigans, and to... Because if I Dynamax there, either Pokemon, I should one-shot... or not one-shot, but the double-up should knock out Stakataka. So... Yeah, looking back, that probably wasn't the best play. I honestly wasn't expecting Indeedee to be buried up as well. That's kind of interesting. Gosh, we don't have Protect on anything, which makes this a lot harder. We do have it on Mamoswine. I think this is a good example of how Trick Room is, like, you need to deny Trick Room super hard with this team, and I didn't do a good enough job with that on turn 1. Although, granted, if my opponent went Follow Me Trick Room, like, I think would be pretty screwed. So, yeah, because I did not have a better lead against this. This was probably my best lead, I just didn't play turn 1 optimally, and they hit with Stakataka as well, so it's not looking good now. So, next play by my opponent turn 1. I think, like, if my opponent's shoes Follow Me is safer. This one, like, looks a little bit frustrating because obviously I could have gone for the taunt, but that taunt doesn't work out most of the time. It would have been, like, a game 1 of a best of 1, exactly like what this scenario is, though. So I absolutely should have gone for it. Yeah, I mean, we really don't have much options here. This is the exact downside of using Hyper Offense, right? If Trick Room goes up against it, you're just crushed by it. So good recognition of my opponent's end to bring that Trick Room lead, and yeah, man, if I went Taunt Earthquake turn 1, like, it's such a bad position for my opponent, because then turn 2 I can just max Airstream EQ, and Moltres and Mammal should just beat everything. So this was a game that was honestly kind of decided on turn 1, and that's often what happens when you use Hyper Offense against Trick Room. Like, Trick Room goes up, you're probably going to lose. With this team especially, there's just so much, so little you can do once Trick Room goes up. But I'll still give it a shot here. See, they're +1 attack. We have, we can't change the terrain. You should just follow me here if you're my opponent. But I guess I'll Dynamax and go for a Steel Spike. And maybe a double Protect. I think our options are super limited now. But I think, like, my turn 1 play wasn't very good because like, almost always if you're leading Stakataka Indeedee, you're going to be Shookaberry there. And if you're Shookaberry, what am I doing if I go for EQ Fire Rack? Like, you know, I do have the flinch chance, and obviously if either of those moves crit as well, that's good, and we'll pick up the KO, but the odds of denying Trick Room there are, what, like, under 40% even with all of those odds combined. Those are odds you really want to gamble on turn 1, so that was not a very smart decision on my end to go for that. And, I don't know, taunt may have just been better. But let's say they go Follow Me Trick Room turn 1 as I taunt and EQ. What happens then? I don't KO you. Yeah, I don't KO the Indeedee. Trick Room goes up. And then you just sweep with Stakataka. So the upside of having taunt on something like Moltres is that no one ever expects it. So that surprise factor alone can be crucial in winning you best of 1 games. Which would have been a reason to go for it here. Just because, like, so few people see it coming. That it's like, it shouldn't work, but what it can do is basically punish people for playing a little bit more aggressively. It's a good learning lesson there. But if anything, like, the reality is that if my opponent just goes for Follow Me Trick Room turn 1, I don't see how we win this unless we get a flinch or a crit turn 1. But taunts, you know, should have been the gamble just because, like I said, you have the element of surprise there. Did I have any other leads to beat Indeedee plus Stakataka? I really don't think so. I honestly think we brought our best possible lead here. No, Whimsicott doesn't do... Whimsicott could Helping Hand? No, but I don't have Helping Hand plus an attack that knocks out, so I don't think that's it. Okay. I'm just going to forfeit here. Yeah, save my opponent some time. They have it wrapped up. We got crit there, but it really didn't matter. Like, I think the game was over on turn 1, and like I said, I think it basically comes down to if I deny Trick Room on turn 1, they're in a really bad position, and if I don't deny it, then they're in a really good position. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. If you enjoyed, please show your support by leaving a like, and I will catch you all next time. All right, peace.